Now hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another Swiss01 video. Now today's video is a very special one. This might be the video of the year 2020. Today we are finally reviewing the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which came out just today on the 18th of August 2020. Yes, you can actually get this Flight Simulator now. You can download it from the Microsoft Store. You should do it. And yeah, today I thought I could make a very big, comprehensive, and honest review about this flight simulator. Is it really as good as people say, or is it even overhyped? Let's check that out today. Now we are already spawned into the simulator, into the flight, but let's actually go back to the main menu. Let's strip this down a little bit. Now here's the loading screen into the main menu. Meanwhile, I can say I have already had the opportunity to test out this flight simulator for a few months now, so you know, I have a little bit of experience in this one, and I can tell you a little bit about this. This is the main menu. We are greeted with quite a nice background music. Personally, I don't usually like to have background music in the flight simulators, but this one is fine. This is quite a nice one. Yeah, this is really not bad. And this is the quite simply designed menu that we have. We have the world map where we can choose where we want to fly. There's also a flight school, which no one wants to use, to be quite honest. You know, we're all pro pilots already. No flight school needed. And there's some activities, and there's also a landing challenge at Courchevel. You know, the infamous airport in the Alps. Let's actually try doing that challenge later on. And we have some news thing as well. And yeah, actually that's pretty much all that is to the menu here. We have a marketplace as well. As you can see already, we can buy add-ons for this flight simulator, which is awesome. Yes, I can already see the add-on market for this flight simulator will be very huge. We can really look forward to the future on that one. But let's actually just check out the world map. Now, obviously, as any modern flight simulator, pretty much, this flight simulator has global flying available. Yes, any airport that is in the world pretty much is in Microsoft Flight Simulator, even Mountain View is that Kentucky? I don't know. Yeah, really, any airport around the world, whatever it is, you can visit it. Let's actually just go to a special place in my heart, St. Bartholomew. You know, this is a small island in the Caribbean. I really like that airport because it really has a short runway, which makes landing big planes at it very interesting. Now let's actually jump over to the planes that we have included. Now, by the way, this is the premium deluxe version, which has quite a beefy price of $120 on the Microsoft Store, and it does have a few aircraft that are actually pretty good on quality. I can already say that. You know, we have airliners like A320s, 747s, 787s, but we also have a lot of general aviation VFR planes, which is probably for a reason. I think this flight simulator was created in the mindset of seeing the world, which you don't really get to do in an airliner, but you do get to do that in a Cessna 152, for example. You can do things like sightseeing flights, right? You cannot do that in the 747. But actually, let's pick a suitable plane for a St. Bartholomew. Let's actually go for the Cirrus SR-22. Actually, I fly a Cirrus in real life, so I can kind of already, you know, rate the realism of this one. So let's just go ahead, Cirrus SR-20. Yeah, I already see I've talked way too much. Let's just jump right into the game. Now, the loading times here are really not that bad. And here we are. Welcome to St. Bartholomew. This already looks amazing, doesn't it? Okay. All right. We have loaded in. That was a little bit of a stutter. Now we also got to rate the performance. The graphics are set to high end, not ultra, because I don't have that much of a super duper good PC. It is very good. It is probably very much above average, but it could definitely be better. And I'm very happy with the performance, actually. You know, this might not be 60 FPS gaming or anything. This works fine. Now, the plane. This is a Cirrus SR-22, probably a G2 or a G3, quite an older version, but this flies pretty realistic, I can kind of say. But let's get ready for this landing. Should we just land on the runway 22 side, which is something that you really do not do a lot, but you do have that in real life as well. So let's just go ahead and get this plane landed and see how that works. Now, I do see that the plane is very sensitive to my control inputs. Maybe a little bit too sensitive, but it's okay. By the way, we haven't admired the outside view of this small Caribbean island. Isn't this beautiful? All right, now the landing. Time for the flare. Okay, that was not actually beautiful, but whatever. Okay, there we go. That was an easy stop on runway 22. Now, this is so far the best graphics I have ever seen in a flight simulator. You know, especially considering that this is without any add-ons. This is really just straight up downloaded from the Microsoft Store and launched into the flight in a default aircraft. This is all default. Nothing has been customized in any way. You would never achieve that in any other conventional flight simulator that we've had before this one. Oh no. Okay, let's just ignore this very big fail. I can actually taxi a Cirrus quite well. You know, this is very nicely detailed. Something I really appreciate is definitely the 3D trees that we have in the background. This rock here looks very good as well. This is very nicely detailed. We do have people drawn into the cockpits of the plane, which always looks a little creepy, even in this one. I don't know. I don't like it. It's weird, but this is all good. Now, let's actually move on to maybe another aircraft or something, at least. Oh, you know what? I was actually mentioning this live event that is going on right now, the landing challenge. Let's actually go ahead and join that. Let's try landing this, I think this is a Robin plane, at the airport of Courchevel. As you can see, this is extremely nicely detailed. Jesus Christ. Now, we have a leaderboard here of the best landings here. This is quite amazing, isn't it? Let's just go ahead and fly. All right, the sim has loaded. We can already have a little bit of a glance at how the airport looks. This is extremely amazing, and we have the plane here as well. Okay, now we are inside of quite another plane. I haven't ever flown a Robin in real life, honestly, and I don't really know how to fly it properly. I hope I do this kind of well. Actually, this airport requires a special license for pilots as well. You need a mountain wheeling license, that's what it's called. But let's see if I could at least land here in theory. Okay, again, this plane is very responsive, maybe a little too sensitive. I've actually tried changing the joystick sensitivity in the settings, but it doesn't work, but that's another story. Again, let's admire the graphics a little bit. We have a little bit of clouds here, which is not very VFR conditions, but the lighting looks absolutely beautiful. The clouds as well. These are actually like completely 3D, the clouds, which is a first timer for a flight simulator, by the way. This is really revolutionary graphics wise. You know, this is a very nice flight in the sunset, even though this plane is kind of struggling to keep up with our speed and all that. I don't like that. Okay, we're looking good. Now the beautiful landing. Alright, that was actually pretty good. I'm happy with that kind of landing. We didn't crash, so that's good. And here we've got a score. This was really not a bad landing, even though I'm placed 529 of the best landings. Alright, that might have not been that good. But it's really cool that they have this leaderboard here. Not gonna lie. Very nice as well. But let's go back to the main menu, and let's maybe try out another type of plane. Let's maybe try out some airliners that we have here as well. Alright, so what airport should we actually go to? You know what? Let's actually go to Innsbruck. Let's stay in the Alpine region. I just want to admire the airport, to be honest. And as I've said, let's try an airliner. Let's try a plane that you can commonly see here, the A320. Oh yes. Let's just go to parking and see how that works here. And here we are in our A320. I'm very, this is like a Christmas morning, isn't it? Oh wow, the mountains in the background. All right, here we are. A little bit of stutter on my PC side. Oh, never mind. It's fixed itself now. Oh my God, this is absolutely beautiful. Let me just mention again, this is a default aircraft, and it is incredibly realistic, even though not all of the buttons work apparently, but most buttons actually do work for at least some kind of realistic flying. Let's see if I can get this plane started. I've never started an Airbus properly. You know, I've only flown the Boeing planes, which are a lot different. How does this work? Okay, that is all going. I'm really impressed by this actually now. Let's go ahead and start the plane. I hope this works. All right, this is very much against procedure, just starting the engines on the ground while people are standing by and without like doing anything, but I think I've made it. You know what? Airbus planes are not that complicated after all. That really didn't take a while. This is really nicely detailed. Can we actually move inside of the cabin as well? That would be awesome. All right, now the cabin door is shut. Okay. All right, we have started up an A320, I guess. You know, I really like the particles here in the flight simulator as well. This looks pretty good. Let's actually do a landing in an A320. Let's try and see if that works. There we go. We can just spawn into a landing again. Let's see how well I can do that. Oh, wow. We are greeted again with amazing graphics. This looks amazing. All right, welcome aboard the A320. We are about to fly like right above the city of Innsbruck here in Austria. Let's get this plane ready for the landing that we're about to do. As you can just hear, we have full ATC control here at the airport. Let's ignore that one though right now. See, there's a lot of features that this flight simulator has that we cannot really cover that much here in the video. The ATC is very much cool though, definitely. This plane, it flies very, very Airbusy as well. This is actually quite realistic. Nothing to complain about here. And again, we're forgetting to admire these beautiful graphics. Jesus Christ. How is it even possible that my computer can handle this? It is really, really impressive that this works. All right, we're a little fast, yeah. But we're coming in quite well on this landing, I would say. We're gonna put this down without any issues. Let's maybe do a smooth and proper landing this time around as well. You know, we gotta prove my pilot skills. Now, really, flying the planes as well in this flight simulator is, it's a very good experience, I would say. I already feel home. Does that make sense? Like, I'm very comfortable just flying around this A320, which is something that I was actually struggling with FSX. Switching from X-plane, yeah, this is absolutely, I don't know, I'm lost in words. And this is gonna be a pretty failed landing now. Oh goodness. Retard. Alright, plane just called me a retard. Oh, this is really not a good landing. I don't know. Now the reverse thrust of this plane comes into play. This was really a bad landing. Again, I'm having some trouble with this very sensitive control thing, especially on the flare. You start actually noticing that, but it was a fine landing, right? And again, this looks absolutely beautiful. Like the colors as well are very extraordinary. You know, the green just pops out very well. It is just the most beautiful thing that I've seen ever. All right, now so far we've only visited like airports that are like very popular, that have been especially designed for this simulator, that have like, you know, that had like special treatment. Let's actually go to like more of random places that didn't have a special treatment like this. You know, maybe airports that are more like auto-generated, right? Okay, so what can we try? Like, I don't know. Let's maybe try a random airport here called Cebu. I've never really heard of this airport ever. Cannot be that famous, right? But it does have a 6,800 feet long asphalt runway, so no problem for something like an A320. But let's see how it looks like here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is it still as detailed as the other airports that we've had? Probably not, by the way. All right, welcome aboard the A320 again. We are actually on final approach to this airport already, and oh wow, this I don't know what to say, man. This is mind-blowing. It still looks absolutely beautiful even on this Greek island of Crete. Really, there is nothing to complain about here. But where's the runway? It's over here. Let's see how the runway itself is gonna look like. All right, I do see some casual bugs with the reflection in the water, as you can see right in front of us. This looks kind of weird. Maybe it's because of my computer as well, but you know, it's not perfect. Like the water reflections in general, they look a little weird, but yeah. The airport that is actually coming up looks, again, absolutely beautiful. This could really be like a payware add-on for maybe X-Plane or something. I think this is actually a military base, so it's also very interesting how they got scenery footage for this one, because normally you don't really have that, especially in countries like Greece. They really do not give you access to any of footage like that. So that's also another interesting fact. I wonder how they got that information from. But let's go ahead and, oh, there we go. Well, let's go ahead and land. We're coming in very, very low for some reason, but this looks like it's going to be a good landing anyway. Well, you can watch my other videos. I promise, I always do pretty good landings, actually. There we go. That was a pretty nice one. And this is what the airport of Cebu apparently looks like. Even though, again, this is probably a military place, which is why no taxiways are actually in the flight simulator itself. That is a little weird, but this looks absolutely beautiful anyway. All right, now another plane that a lot of people are interested in here in the flight simulator is obviously the 747-8 that we have here. Oh, we have a little bit of stuttering. Okay, and now it works fine. We are right now approaching the Frankfurt airport, which is, by the way, my home airport. And again, this looks absolutely beautiful. We're a little fast, maybe. Now we are flying against the sunrise. There's a little bit of the visibility is not perfect, but the graphics, oh my goodness. Now, by the way, this airliner as well is quite nicely detailed. We have in-flight systems and all that stuff. This is all very playable. Again, this is a default aircraft. You know, at the beginning when the flight simulator was only, you know, announced and all that stuff, a lot of people were worried that this was just going to be an arcade kind of like game, like a casual game that everyone can play. But no, this really isn't. This can also be used as a incredibly realistic flight simulator, but it can also be used by a normal person to fly around. There is several levels of difficulties, if you can say it like this. And this is, by the way, the hardest difficulty, the most realistic one, but there's also easier levels for casual game players that just want to land a 747 at Kepyy Agarwal, for example. That works. In beautiful graphics as well, let me just say that too. Let's see how well we can land this 747. Obviously, I haven't ever flown a 747 in real life, but it does feel quite realistic. Again, we have the problem that the joystick is very, very sensitive to my inputs. And again, you cannot modify the sensitivity here in the flight simulator, which kind of sucks, but okay. Oh wow, this really sucked. Now, we have always praised the 747 for being a very quick stopper. Here in the flight simulator, it is also the thing. This plane, it doesn't need a long runway, does it? Oh yes. And here at sunrise again, this is absolutely beautiful. The reflections as well. And you know, and especially for graphics like this, the simulator is running very, very much perfectly fine. And now, what can I say about this flight simulator? Get it now. Get it now. That's my conclusion. I mean, really, there is not much to say. This is revolutionary. This is not perfect. Again, there's a few minor issues sometimes. I kind of miss a replay mode where you can actually see your landings as well, because apparently you don't have that. But yeah, this is really a game changer. That's all I can say. Now, for my channel, I'm probably going to switch to this flight simulator as well. I'm maybe not gonna stick with X-Plane, which used to be the leading simulator, I would say, or maybe still is, but you know, this one is definitely going to replace it for a while. I'll probably switch to Microsoft as a primary flight simulator as well. You know, personally, especially for my workflow, I don't really have to download any more sceneries because it all looks amazing anyway. You know, all this really helps me a lot. This is amazing. That's all I can say. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night.